I shouldn't be alive right now. Imagine one day you are walking on ice, ignorant of the danger that lies beneath your feet. One more step would have ended my life. This is the story of how I almost died. In March 2021, when I was in undergrad school, I was studying in the library on a spring sunny day. All of a sudden, I got this idea to go and walk on the frozen lake. In the middle of the lake, there is a mass of land with trees resembling an island. So I got curious and I wanted to know what was on that island. So I left the library and I headed towards the lake. When I got to the lake, it was well frozen and I saw several other people skiing and fishing on the lake. So I thought, it must be safe if all these people are on it. But what happened later on proved that idea to be false. I started to walk towards the mass of land in the middle of the lake. I was walking for about 5 minutes and everything was fine, but then all of a sudden I heard cracking under my feet. I ignored those cracks. I stopped and I changed my direction. But I was still heading towards the mass of land in the middle of the lake. I continued to walk, took a few steps, then I heard more cracks. But this was louder than the first. Then I stopped and I changed my direction again, but I was still headed towards the middle of the lake the whole time. After I changed my direction the third time, I heard the loudest crack I had ever heard. So I stopped and I took it as my sign to go back. I just said 3 times does it, 3 times a charm. So I stopped, turned around and started to head back to the land. And I started to walk very carefully. I tried to avoid the same steps that I took so that I don't weaken the ice more. I stepped very lightly so that I would not fracture the ice anymore, and I had to walk with wide steps in order to distribute my body weight, and eventually I made it back to land. After I made it back to land, I was in a state of panic. I then decided to tell one of my friends about the situation, because he had been living in Finland for at least 10 years already. When I told him, he was so surprised. He told me that a student had died on that same lake before. He also said that the people whom I saw skiing and fishing on the lake, they have been doing that for years, so they knew which parts of the lake was safe to walk on and which parts were not safe. During the winters, the lake does not freeze evenly, so some parts were well frozen and some parts still had water flowing under the ice. There was still a current, so the layer of ice above it was thin. And I don't think that I survived by chance, because in Finland, 16 people die every year on average by falling through the ice. And I could have been part of that statistic. Even now I get flashbacks about that day. It was a miracle I survived. Every day since that day, I have been wondering why God spared my life. Every day I live, I am learning why God decided to give me another chance. And I am still learning that reason up to this day. That is basically how my curiosity almost got me killed. I would not be here today making this video. If you know anyone whatsoever who is living in a cold country, maybe they are studying, maybe they are working, and they are new in that country, they might not know how the place works, how winter works and all of that. If that place has winter and temperatures fall below 0, I would like for you to share this video with them, because they can learn from my mistake and you could save a life as well.